Good afternoon, Craig Ingram, Second Vice President of PACE.
We're a little early.
Good afternoon. My name is Yvette White, and I'm the Secretary in PACE.
Good afternoon. I'm Kwanzaa Cotton Waters. I'm on the executive board, and I'm a steward for DPW finance team.
And I'm Gina Pagnotta, President of PACE, and also National Vice President with NAGE, and we are affiliated with the police union, so we're colleagues. First, I'd like to say that, like Mr. Thornhill, for the first time in history, he's my colleague now, and we do still have our little debates here and there, but we've learned how to be win-win for our members and all the employees that we represent. And our presentation is going to be a little bit brief, just like he said. I had a lot to say. This is the first time ever in history that we were able to come up and, you know, not fuss. But I'm going to fuss a little bit, but not a lot. But first, I want you to you have our handout. I want you to go all the way to the back, the last page. It would be amiss of not to do this because as I was coming in today, one of the employees from Watershed stopped us and said, you know, we don't see PACE anymore. I used to see you on the news all the time. Way to go, good job, but where are you? I said, we're here. So we talk to our people, we have town hall meetings. You know, you're a member, you'll get emails, blasts, and all of this. She says, well, I wonder, is it because Mayor Dickens is doing a good job for the citizens and employees? I said, absolutely. We don't have anything to get on the news about. Hopefully, not yet, but right now we don't. So I'd like to take this time and thank Mayor Dickens and his administration, you City Council, DHR, Department of Human Resources, led by Commissioner Charlisha Smith. On behalf of PACE, I want to express our sincerest gratitude for your unwavering support of our union and its members, your commitment to fostering positive labor relations, and advocating for the rights and interests of workers in Atlanta has not gone unnoticed. By recognizing the value of organized labor and actively engaging with our union, you have helped to cultivate a collaborative environment where dialogue and cooperation are prioritized. We look forward to continuing this partnership with your administration to create a more just and equitable Atlanta for us all. And that also with Mr. Odie and the CEO and the COOs and the CFOs and all of those O's, we'd like to thank you. We have, like Mr. Thornhill said, we were coming up here, I had to real quickly change the briefing, and because we were in a lot of meetings. I appreciate the fact that the administration, this administration, has made sure that these unions are pulled to the table and have dialogue, whether heartburn or not heartburn, transparency, and that's what we're about. So moving on with the presentation, of course, I'm not going to go on all reading everything, but you know this is just something for the new council people, what PACE Overview is about, what we do, who we provide representation for. Also on page 2 is our executive board hierarchy. This bill lets you know how we are, how our structure is done. It's similar to the city of Atlanta. This is how we want it to be. And so you'll see all of us, we have stewards, we have a couple of vacant positions, and that's because of the attrition of them retiring. We will fill them hard as soon as possible. On the next page, the heartburn of it all, that I am here and grinning, skinning to proudly announce that the last time I believe we were here, we talked about E911. And we was on the news about E911. And we had a lot of issues going on with E911. But under the leadership of Commissioner Charlisha Smith, who we, the PACE, Ebony and I, who's also out of E911, we met with those leaders and operators where she came out late hours in the night, all schedules, to do what we call a reset. It was hard, but under her leadership, she subleased a lady called Candace Colas, who is the DC, Deputy Commissioner. And we scheduled monthly meetings with her, the supervisors, the leadership, and Mr. Peter Amon. And we have come to these accomplishments. I want to give a shout out to all of them. It is very heartfelt that we finally have gotten to a point where they listen, They learned and they made changes for the better of us. The employees are. And I'll let Ebony, if you want to, since you want to take over that part of the accomplishments. Just so you know, I felt that these things came about because we were complaining about the same issues. So I wanted to share with you something good instead of bad of how these issues came about for some accomplishment. E911, no disrespect to the chief, but he's, you know, sometimes he's up here, he talks about what you want to hear about police, and there's not very much dialogue about E911 Center of where we at now. So we would like to share that with you. Set it up.
Okay. So PACE and E911 leadership has created a cohesive bond by working together on shared goals, which has propelled the department to move forward with the following partnership accomplishments. They currently now have a structured career ladder for all the employees for promotion opportunities. They have also created a web portal for employees to provide suggestions directly to the leadership team. A resilience assessment has been created for the employees to determine if they are a right fit for that department. On the next page, E911 has increased its staffing by hiring about 80 new employees since 2023, of January 2023 to now. Increase of staffing of E911 has allowed for proper breaks and employees to get their vacation time. As of April 2024, there are only 8 vacancies, with 12 new hires waiting on background checks.
Can you repeat that again?
As of April 2024, there are only 8 vacancies, with 12 new hires waiting on background checks. By implementing 10-hour shifts, it has added to the employees' work-life balance. Employees receive premium pay when working holidays and special events. Again, E911 has continued monthly meetings with the labor and HR team, maintaining staffed and reserved dispatchers and call takers for personnel relief, that's for restroom breaks or throughout the shifts if they need to get up. Incentive pay for E911 certifications, that's something that we're continuously working on right now. And as of this morning, I received a text from the director for April stats. One second, I'm getting to it now. We couldn't add that on the presentation. It was already turned in.
But while she's finding that, for the ones that you all know how much heartburn I've been speaking on the news and I've been coming here and complaining, and we have got about 85% of what we've been requesting completed, accomplished, agreed. So hats off to Mr. Peter Amon, hats off to Director Arnold and the Chief for allowing those changes. And going forward, we have a few other things, and I'm real excited about it because they're getting real excited. Like, what does Gina have to say? She got any more suggestions? And we all collaboratively sit there and look at it. I just dream about this stuff at night. Now, if you put me in there to do it, I couldn't do the job, but I dream about you all doing it.
The April stats, the monthly call volume is 105,000 calls, 303. The answer time in seconds is 9.43. Percentage of calls answered in 15 seconds was 85%, 85.6%, so really 86% for the month of April. So those are the stats that we just received this month.
So let's get out. I think that's a big accomplishment. And that pretty much where you all understand when you have morale down, and we had COVID and pandemic, and we had things where we were understaffed, and all of those things caused that fraction of decreasing in the citizens needing that support when they dial 911. We still have some work to do. We're here, I say we, because we're part of that programming team, that structuring team, and in collaboration, we hope to make us the, and matter of fact, one of the things we won, you all won the E911 countrywide, #1 top contest. You want to tell them about that? You cut it off. Oh, yeah.
In April, the end of April, they had Telecommunicators Week. Some council members did come out. Bakhtiari came up to visit the center. She brought donuts. It was really nice. And the 911 team, they had a production team where they did a movie intro to the 911 center. and they won #1 nationwide. So that was good.
So E911, your City of Atlanta E911 Center is the best E911 center nationwide to date. So I think that's a great accomplishment for that team, that leadership, HR, and this PACE Executive Board. And moving on, do you have any questions about that? I'm sure. Okay.
Yeah, we'll just wait until the
Okay,
end.
good. All right, going to ATL 311 and the accomplishment with PACE, I'll let you go ahead with
Yes,
Ms. Blight.
so I'm a part of the Department of Customer Service, ATL 311, under the outstanding leadership of Commissioner Maisha Good and Deputy Commissioner Vernon Edmonds. And so ATL 311 and PACE accomplishments, continued engagement of PACE representatives during the DCS ATL 311 new hire class orientation, ongoing collaboration with leadership and employees that underscores the importance for employees to comprehend the role and significance of unions. And then lastly, strong partnership with labor and management in resolving personnel matters for employees that are union members.
Okay. Moving on to AFRD and PACE accomplishments. We have Miss Claudia Nash couldn't be here because they called her. Y'all know Claudia Nash, about 45 years. She's also one of our executive board members, but she had to be called away for an emergency. But we wanted to let you know that we want to give a shout out to Chief Rod Smith for inviting PACE to have a standing seat on his monthly labor meetings. He reached out to us, and we were very pleased of that. So we sit on his table once a month, and we give him, we're doing interdepartmental surveys to see where his people are, how they feel, how the morale is, so that we can give him back those percentages of where he can look at the graph and determine what he needs to do with collaboration with this union. DWM and their accomplishment with PACE, Commissioner Makita Browning approved and implemented the premium pay. We talked about this a while back, and I believe, unless I'm correct or wrong, she was the first to move the cheese. She put that money in her people's salary immediately. And that was just no second thoughts about it. We came to her and she found the need to do it. And I guess she didn't want me on the news about it, so she decided to go ahead and do it. But anyway, she did it. So shout out to her and thank you for your leadership on that. We will continue to collaborate with her and the concerns from their employees. They also made improvements in their safety program. PACE has a seat at that table once a month. I'm on there and they hear everything that we have to say. It used to be citywide. So hopefully the city, Mayor Dickens will bring that back in play where we have a representative from every department, safety, that we can have, because safety is about the same safety everywhere. Rules and regulations don't change when it comes to the safety of us working and the workers out there in the field, as well as you when you come to visit. So hopefully we can mirror what the Department of Watershed has done in their safety program to the city and bring it back citywide. Department of Finance, shout out to Chief Baller in collaboration with PACE. He answers my calls and texts no matter what time of night. Sometime I'll call him at 9:30 at night. I just happen to have one of those, ooh-ha moments, and I'll call him and he responds. Thank you so much for that and gives us a warm welcome. He's receptive to meeting with labor union to discuss any ongoing issues in his area. And so we are looking forward to having more collaborative meetings, labor management, to help him get some situations situated in his department. DPW, PACE will begin again monthly meetings with Commissioner Wiggins. And he has new fleet leadership to collaborate with any issues within the department and its employees. And we're requesting for that department to reanalyze in an employee initiatives. Some of you all remember managed competition. Thank you, Councilman Mayor Norwood. You were the one that started that out in those meetings in those bank meeting rooms, and rebirth the process to combat the fear of outsourcing again. We had a little scared with that, but I think with the help of some key personnel, we tabled that and letting the employees with new leadership sit at the table and see what we can do to solve that and save the city some money and get the quality service that's needed for fleet. Aviation. You had a situation not too long ago where we had a lot of aviation people to come out and sit in the chambers. They were very disgruntled. PACE did our investigation. We found out some things. We met with Ms. Colas out and talked with them immediately after. And then Commissioner Smith, I'm sure you all aware that she came out on a couple occasions to talk with them. We think we got a handle on what's going on. PACE is going to be sitting at the table. We're going to create and disseminate in surveys to the employees because we feel that they will give us a better, truthful answers that we can show leadership what they requested and what's needed. We're also looking at the fact that we want them to as well get the $4 of premium pay. A lot of this over the time where we feel that the word jargon is what got everybody discombobulated. One minute it was hazardous pay, one minute it was another kind of pay, COVID pay, then it's premium pay. And we appreciate the mayor not stopping that premium pay. We changed the language to premium pay so that the ones that was critically mission and receiving it will continue to receive it as they are now. ATL DOT, we are working with them to, we met with them. We had a couple of issues the last time I was talking with you all about it. We resolved some of those issues. We haven't had a lot of issues out of that department again, so I think we probably did a good job. I pat myself on the back with my team. And we will continue to have meetings with them, with their employees, and continue to disseminate employee surveys. Coming from the union and surveys, just to let you know, surveys, those employees are more apt to give you the truth when they know it's coming from the survey. And hats off to our my first VP who creates those surveys and send a database report to those leadership so they'll know exactly what to do. And then we also make suggestions at that point. AIM suggestions, we need to begin quarterly meetings with PACE. We have not yet broke down that barrier, but we have not had any negative about them. But we also would like to thank all of those employees for their contributions to the city. We acknowledge their hard work and efforts, from the desktop support tech to the network engineer to the training manager and all roles in between that helps keep your networks running smoothly. So we are definitely gonna chime into them. Haven't started yet, but we will. And not to say, before I get into the meat of why we're here, when you know our wish list, definitely again want to give out kudos to Commissioner Smith and her team for their tireless energy and assisting PACE, answering the calls and emails in a frenzy. And as we all know, as she know and I know on this side of the fence, it's a tireless job. It's a thankless job. And people don't know what all we do behind the scenes, what all you do behind the scenes, Council. So you understand how frustrating it can be when someone gets upset because they didn't get what they wanted done, that you didn't do your job, and you know you did the best. So we just want to say thank you to her, and a special thanks to DC Candace Colas and her team, who's instrumental with bringing peace to the E91 leadership and PACE to get the job done. Yay. Okay, now to meet what you waiting on. You know, I had to soften the blow a little bit. And Santana, you didn't do what you were supposed to do, but that's okay. But anyway, I'm bling-blinging, she said. Okay, PACE request to the City Council. All employees, what we're asking, we have met tirelessly with the administration and their team. And I must say that this is the first time ever, and I'm not just saying this lightly, because the lady that met me outside before we came in was in tears. She was so excited and ecstatic about Mayor Dickens looking out for the employees. And for the first time, and I don't want to knock or shame any other mayor, that's not my diligence here, but I have to give props where props is, and all of you that know me, you know when if something ain't right, I'm gonna call you out. There's nothing bad I can say about Mayor Dickens when it comes to employees and in labor engagement. And I wanna make sure that we had several talks about the pension. I love what they're doing with the pension. We shared information, we sent questions to them, they answered. So there's no fussing that I have here other than requests. And those requests are that $4.12 in the premium pay be fostered into their hourly salary once the budget is passed, effective July. I think Mr. Thornhill and I are on the same page with that. And I know that after talking with Chief Baller, it takes some effort to go into the new system of the Chrono versus, we no longer have Chronos. Don't know why we changed it, but We do that sometimes. And it's going to take them time to put in the pension, to build it into certain things, and I understand that. It takes man hours. It may cost a little bit extra money to make this happen right away. I understand that. But out of the 10 things that we requested and fussed about over the years, the mayor has done 8. So now I want him to do 9. And that 9th thing is to make this $4.12 come into these hourly pay immediately once that budget is passed. If we have to wait until our tireless team of the finance department and payroll get it done the way they need to do so everybody can have their paychecks right, even if it's August or September, let it be retro back to July. But we don't, I feel that as what I'm hearing from members, they don't want to wait to January to get the comp and study pay and the 412. And I think, I feel strongly that if we can do it in increments, like let's resolve the 412 now, because something may come up in January where we got to push that date for the compensation off a couple of more months. We don't want to look like we told you so, or you all made this promise and now you're not. So we can at least do the premium pay, get that started, and then the compensation piece will come in January as prescribed by the mayor's office. No increase in benefits. The mayor's done well with that so far. We're going to try to ask for a little more. That there won't be no more for the next year. And for the people that are not eligible for the premium pay, PACE is requesting 10% increase in their salary. You got 2 options, grades 30 and below, 5% each for 2 consecutive years or just 1 payout. That is a wish list. You're supposed to, I learned that from you, Councilman Lewis. You say, come and ask. You may not get it, but you don't get it if you don't ask. So we ask it, okay? The next page is longevity bonus to be given to all employees who did not meet the eligibility for the compensation study for salary increases. So you're gonna have 3 different pots. So we're asking you, because this was already legislated, I think we did it one time. We may need to look at it again because some people, to my understanding, may not be touched with premium pay. Some may not be touched with the comp and study. So at least we have the longevity bonus to think about. We also talked about retention bonuses, 5 to 10 year, 5% increase, 10 to 20 or more, 20% increase. And this should not be construed as a salary increase, but a one-time bonus. We're looking at all of this. This is what we're asking for. And last but not least, I have a special request for the City Council and the Mayor's office. We're doing a lot of rebuilding and revitalizing the City Hall. Ebony told me not to say it, but you know I'm gonna be Gina. I went in a women's bathroom. Y'all need to make that larger for big girls. I cannot tell you. You need to make those stalls a little larger for big girls. I'm a big girl, and I struggle in and out of there. I'm just being real. I ain't going into details, but I looked at and I measured the distance from the wall to the stall. You can spread it out some, okay? If you need me to give you some figures, I'll be glad to share it with you. So that's a special request that I'm asking. Pardon, sir? The first floor, right there, the first floor. That's the first floor when I go in. So that's where your customers are coming in. And you got that big room that's empty. You might need to relook at, just expanding that some, because those are your citizens that may have to utilize that. And I'm not, shaming anybody, because I'm a big girl. And I just cover it well. But I'm having a hard time using that latrine. That's that military in me, but the latrine. Consider that in your budget refinancing. And one last thing, there is an assessment that E91 has that PACE came up about. They have that we didn't share with you, that we've asked them to reassess, and I guess my military experience, because they have a lot of turnovers when we get people that come in, they may not really have that role to be able to do an E91 dispatching. And I remember when I applied many, I ain't gonna tell you how many years, but many years ago, I applied in Fayetteville, North Carolina to be a police officer. And I took the assessment test, and they told me, you're not qualified where we want you to be a police officer, but you can be a sheriff. So I remember that, and I asked them, can they do a psychological test coming and a psychological test going either way after they've been trained, just to see where their headspace is at. And so they agreed. They reassessed that the testing. They updated it for different questions to fit the needs that they did, and they have sent it out to me. I'm getting ready to take the test, but I'm going to charge you all to take that test just to see where your headspace is at. That would be a test. So Ebony, you get everybody's address and send it to them and let them take it. Let's see where they're at. You'll be just for fun to see where you're at. We won't tell nobody. But that is the end of our presentation. And we thank you once again for having the time to listen to us. And for the first time, I'd like to say that I'm looking forward to working with you all in the new budget year. And we appreciate you. And thank you, Ms. Liliana, for your interaction with us through the E911 in the beginning and all. We still got to deal with that sound, the noise bell, but we're working on that one. And that's the end of our presentation.
All right, thank you. And we've been rejoined by Ms. Overstreet, Mr. Winston, Mr. Dozier, and Ms. Bakhtiari, who has the floor.
Thank you. Honored to have been involved with the E911 from the beginning. And I do believe I have talked to Commissioner, who I think is back there, and I know we are working on that bell, because we've talked about it a couple of times. I said that we are working on that bell, that Ms. Bakhtiari, yep, give me a thumbs up. I brought it up. I'm going to keep bringing it up. And thank you, Ebony, for inviting me to come help, to come support our dispatchers during Telecommunications Week. Know that I'm always here for things like that. And just so y'all know, Ebony called me that morning. She's like, "You got donuts?" And I was like, "Okay, I'll hit up the Dunkin' Donuts. I'll see you in another hour." So, but anytime I can come by, we can even plan things more extensively. I would love to be there, but morale has seemed to have greatly improved, and it was awesome to see. And I just wanted to say that we should have this framed, and I hope we've recorded that entire dialogue by Ms. Pagnotic. I'm going to replay that for myself for years to come, for us to aspire to this level of happiness each time. But most important, like I'll keep talking to y'all again about the 410. We'll continue to talk about the salary piece. I know that Ebony has raised that to me a few times, so I know we're going to keep working on that. And most importantly, I would like to know, Gina, what on earth that shiny thing is on your finger.
Oh my God. Yes, I'm engaged.
Wow. Congratulations.
I was trying to show you, Mr. Shug, but you missed it. Yes.
Tell you what, I'll get you like a little disco ball you can wear around your head, and that can just shine light directly on that thing. So, I mean,
Did you
it's
get
beautiful.
a camera? Can you see it? Thank you.
Oh, yes,
Lady,
thank you. And
I think she could signal ships with that.
we'll just stick you right on top of the building, scare off the airplanes and helicopters. But I appreciate y'all. Thank you.
So let me ask you.
Yes, sir.
As regards your requests, have you socialized these with the appropriate department people? If not, we assume you will. I'm sure some of us will be happy to do so as well, because obviously in order to kind of process your requests, we're going to need some questions asked.
Yes, we have talked with Mayor and his team. We've had several meetings with and Commissioner Smith. And they want to do that, the 412 immediately, but the only pushback, if it is a pushback that can't be over-hurdled from the CFO, is the time restraint of trying to input, because that money would need to be dedicated for the pension. They got to do the numbers for the pension and all of that. So that takes time. And so we're hoping that we're even, a PACE never comes up here and requests and don't make a suggestion. So if I can do this team as we did in the financial help when we did the Finance Academy, I'm willing to do some quick payroll academy and help get that money in there if we can. She said no. But anyway, we're hoping so.
Commissioner, do you need to add something to the record? Okay. All right. Okay. So at least, so we know that you've handed these suggestions into them, and so that means for us then, when Department of Finance comes up, when HR comes up, we'll be able to follow up.
Yes, sir. We are looking for you to help encourage them to see whatever hoops they can jump through to make it happen.
Any other questions or comments? Mr. Stewart.
So first I want to say thank you today for your presentation, and thank you again to Commissioner Smith for jumping right in and showing that what this kind of work can be. I also wanted to give a special shout out to Commissioner Browning and DeJuan Robinson for helping set up that meeting with Watershed, because I was
Yes.
there before. We were there within 5 minutes. Commissioner Browning made that premium pay permanent for folks. I also want to say another special shout out to DeJuan Robinson for bringing the airport workers down to City Hall to get that conversation started. Just want to say sometimes we need local organizers to be a part of this. Thank you again to the mayor for working with people to make sure we get this going. Thank you.
All right, thank you. If there's nothing else, y'all are excused. Thank you for being concise.
Okay, thank you.
And we are way ahead of schedule. I know Ms. Kempson Wright was going to reach out to see if fire could be queued up, but I do not see them in here. So I would recommend that we recess and reconvene at 2:30. All right, let's follow that course. Thank you.